The entertainment world went into complete chaos this morning after one headline dominated every social media feed: Yaman confirmed to lead a Spanish series for the first time. It started as a whisper in Madrid's film circles, an unverified rumor that the Turkish superstar, known for his magnetic performances and international fame, was in talks with a major Spanish production house, but within hours the news was everywhere. Variety, Hola! And major entertainment pages across Europe began reporting it as official, and with that, fans from Turkey to Italy to Latin America lost their minds. For years, fans had been begging for Can to take part in a Spanish-language project. His popularity across Europe had been undeniable. From Urkency Kus to Viola Como el Mar, his name alone guaranteed headlines, but nobody expected this. According to Spanish media, the upcoming series, produced by one of Spain's most powerful streaming networks, will be a romantic drama with a mystery twist, filmed between Madrid and Seville, and Yaman will be playing the lead. But what really set the internet on fire wasn't just the project, it was who he might be starring with. Minutes after the announcement, Spanish tabloids began teasing an even bigger revelation: his co-star will be one of Spain's most beloved actresses. And fans are already drawing comparisons to Demet Özdemir. Within an hour, hashtags like #CanYaman en España and #CanYaman Spanish series were trending worldwide. On X, formerly Twitter, fans couldn't contain their emotions. Can finally conquering Spain? This is historic. I'm so ready for Spanish Yaman, imagine the accent. Who is the co-star? Tell us now. Every fanbase, Turkish, Italian, Spanish, united in one massive storm of curiosity and excitement. But behind the glamorous headlines, something deeper was happening. For Can, this project wasn't just a career move, it was a statement. After years of rumors, controversies, and emotional interviews about his private life, he was ready to reclaim the narrative. To show the world that he wasn't just a heartthrob or a social media obsession, he was an actor capable of crossing cultures, languages, and borders. During an exclusive interview with TVE Madrid, a close source revealed, Can was approached Montsego.at first. He wasn't sure. He said he didn't want to rush into anything just for fame, he wanted a story with substance, with meaning. When he read the script, he said, this feels right. And that's what changed everything. The same day the news broke, Spanish reporters spotted him in Madrid leaving a private meeting with producers. Dressed casually in a white shirt and dark sunglasses, he simply smiled when asked about the series. All I can say, he told reporters in perfect Spanish, is that I'm very happy about what's coming. That small phrase, muy feliz por lo que viene, became the internet's new obsession. Speculations began instantly. Was the mysterious co-star someone from his Italian connections? Or perhaps a major Spanish actress whose name was being kept secret for a big reveal? Entertainment insiders hinted that the production team was intentionally keeping her identity hidden to ignite global anticipation. And it worked, perfectly. By midnight, the biggest question of all was flooding every headline: who is the woman standing beside Yaman in Spain's most anticipated new series? The next morning, Spanish tabloids exploded with headlines that seemed pulled straight out of a movie: the woman behind the mystery, who will stand next to Yaman? From gossip sites to primetime entertainment shows, everyone had a theory. Some claimed it would be Blanca Suarez, Spain's beloved actress from Cable Girls. Others swore it was Ursula Corbero, the global star from Money Heist. A few daring journalists even whispered another possibility: Andrea Duro, who had been spotted in Rome just 2 weeks earlier, the same time Can was mysteriously there for meetings. But what made things even more explosive was that the Spanish media didn't stop at guessing. They started comparing. On talk shows, fans and critics began drawing emotional parallels between the mystery co-star and Demet Özdemir. No matter who she is, she has big shoes to fill. Can and Demet's chemistry was lightning in a bottle, one host said on Salvame Diario. Clips from Urkency Kus were replayed on Spanish television, showing Can and Demet's unforgettable scenes, reminding everyone of the fire that once made them Europe's most talked about on-screen couple. Meanwhile, on social media, fans launched entire threads with side-by-side photos: Demet versus the possible co-star, and they were relentless. Some defended Can, saying it was time he moved on professionally. Others weren't ready to let go of the past. He can act with anyone, but Demet will always be the one. We'll watch it, but let's be honest, no one will replace their connection. Even Demet's name began trending in Spain. Without her even saying a word, reporters quickly reached out to her representatives in Istanbul for a comment. The official response: Demet wishes everyone success in their work and has no further statement at this time. That single neutral sentence did nothing to calm the storm. In fact, it made things worse, because in the silence fans found their own stories. In Rome, paparazzi caught Ken leaving his hotel late at night. He was alone, hoodie up, hands in pockets. When asked whether he'd already met his new co-star, he simply smiled and said, "You'll find out soon." His tone, calm but mysterious, only fueled the curiosity. Later that day, the Spanish production company released the official teaser poster. It didn't reveal much, just a silhouette of two figures standing under a Spanish sunset, but what caught everyone's attention was the tagline written in Spanish: El amor no entiende fronteras. Love knows no borders. And that was all it took. Fans went wild. The romantic undertone of the tagline made everyone wonder, was this just a professional collaboration, or was there something deeper behind the casting choice? Rumors began spreading that the show's plot would mirror Ken's own real-life story, a man torn between passion, distance, and destiny. A producer close to the project reportedly told Hola magazine, "We chose Ken because his presence tells a story without needing words. The series will explore love, identity, and emotional resilience. It's going to surprise everyone." And then came the leak, a single blurred photo from the set showing Ken sitting beside a woman with long dark hair laughing between takes. Within minutes, the internet exploded. Spanish media started speculating, is this her? Some fans claimed it looked like Andrea Duro, others swore it was Amaya Salamanca, but one comment under the viral photo said what everyone secretly thought: whoever she is, Demet will see this. By the end of the day, entertainment journalists called it the new Mediterranean storm, a triangle of nostalgia, curiosity, and silent emotions. And while fans argued online, Ken remained silent, posting only a single image on Instagram, a sunset over Madrid with the caption, "New beginnings, same fire." 3 hours later, Demet posted something of her own, a quote on her story written in Turkish: "Some fires never die, they just wait for the wind." No one needed translation, the timing said it all. The moment everyone had been waiting for finally arrived. Late one evening, the Spanish streaming platform released a 15-second teaser titled simply, Ken Yaman, El Nuevo Amor. The new love. The clip began with the sound of waves crashing against a Spanish coastline, then came a shot of Ken dressed in a loose white shirt, walking down a sunlit street in Seville, his expression serious, eyes hidden behind dark sunglasses. Just before the teaser faded to black, a woman's voice whispered in Spanish, "I thought love ended, but he proved me wrong." And for one split second, barely half a second, her face appeared. The woman beside him was none other than Amaya Salamanca, one of Spain's most iconic actresses, known for her roles in Gran Hotel and Sin Teta's No Hay Por Eso. Within seconds, the internet imploded. Every entertainment page, gossip site, and fan account from Madrid to Istanbul screamed the same thing: Amaya Salamanca is Ken Yaman's new co-star. It was official. Fans flooded the comments with reactions that mixed excitement, shock, and nostalgia. "She's amazing. This duo is going to be fire. Wait. Amaya? She's married, this will get complicated fast." Demet's fans are not going to like this. They were right, because while Spanish fans celebrated the collaboration, Turkish and Italian fans saw something different, a new chapter that looked dangerously similar to a wound that had never fully healed. Clips from her Kensi Kuss resurfaced yet again, this time side by side with Amaya's romantic scenes from her Spanish dramas. Comment sections turned into battlefields. Amaya is professional, but Demet was real. This is art, not life, let them work. He's recreating what he lost with Demet. The tension grew even more when the first behind-the-scenes video leaked. In the footage, Ken and Amaya were seen rehearsing a scene on a Spanish beach. He was barefoot, she wore a flowing white dress, and they laughed uncontrollably after a mistimed line. Their chemistry was undeniable, light, natural, magnetic, but for many fans it hit too close to home. One Turkish entertainment journalist tweeted, "It's like watching the past being rewritten in Spanish." Meanwhile, in Istanbul, Demet Özdemir became the most searched celebrity on Google for 2 consecutive days, without making a single statement. Paparazzi caught her arriving at a restaurant with friends, trying to avoid questions. One reporter shouted, "Demet, have you seen Ken's new teaser?" She smiled faintly but didn't answer. Only later that night, on her Instagram story, she posted a quote in English that read, "You don't replace memories. You just learn to live with them." Fans lost their minds. To them, it wasn't just a post, it was a response. Meanwhile, Spanish media were euphoric. Hola, El Mundo, and Vanitatis called the series a historic collaboration that could bridge two entertainment empires. But behind the celebration, even insiders admitted that the production was becoming emotionally charged. A source from the set told lecturers, "Can is professional, but you can sense something in his eyes. When he films romantic scenes, there's this sadness, like he's somewhere else." That somewhere else had a name, and everyone knew it. Even Amaya herself seemed aware of the pressure. In a brief interview during a charity gala, she laughed and said, "People keep asking me if I'm the new Demet. I think that's impossible. Demet is Demet, I'm just playing a role." Her respectful answer only made fans like her more, and made Can's silence even louder. Because while the world was busy talking, he hadn't said a single word about the rumors, the comparisons, or the emotions everyone could feel until one quiet evening in Madrid, when he finally broke his silence. He went live on Instagram with no filter, no lighting, just him sitting in his hotel room. He didn't say much, only one simple sentence that sent chills through millions watching. "Sometimes, the hardest part isn't starting over. It's pretending you already have." He smiled faintly, said "Buenas noches," and ended the live. That clip went viral instantly. Within minutes, fans flooded his feed with messages, "He's still thinking about Demet. That wasn't acting, that was heartbreak. This man's soul speaks louder than any script." The emotional storm was now global, and what started as a professional announcement had turned into something much more, a confession in disguise. Madrid's golden hour painted the set in a warm glow. Cameras rolled, assistants shouted, and yet, there was a strange energy in the air. Yaman, now deep into filming the new Spanish series, seemed composed on the surface, but those close to him noticed something else, a quiet heaviness. Amaya Salamanca, ever the professional, kept things light between takes. She would tease him, offer him coffee, and laugh at his broken Spanish jokes, but there were moments, fleeting, quiet, where his eyes would drift off, as if pulled by a memory he couldn't escape. One of the assistant directors reportedly told El País, "When the camera starts, Ken becomes the character, but when it stops, he's somewhere else. Sometimes you see it, he's there but not really." The rumors about lingering feelings for Demet were impossible to silence. The Spanish press ran with it relentlessly. Can's heart still in Istanbul? Amaya notices emotional distance on set. Demet reacts in silence, but fans decode every move. And then, something happened that no one expected. A Turkish journalist shared an exclusive tip claiming that Demet Özdemir had accepted a guest appearance offer for a Spanish talk show, El Hormiguero. The very same show Can had visited the previous year. The date, just 1 week after the Spanish series' promotional press event. The timing was no coincidence. Social media went into meltdown. Demet in Spain while Can promotes his series? This can't be random. Is the universe trying to reunite them again? Producers, PR teams, and even fans began preparing for a possible reunion moment, the kind of viral explosion the internet lives for. Meanwhile, on set, the atmosphere grew even more intense. Ken was asked in an interview what it was like working in Spain for the first time. His answer was perfectly measured, until the final question, "If you could invite one person to watch this series with you, who would it be?" He paused, the silence stretched just long enough for everyone to feel it. Then he smiled softly and said, "Someone who once taught me that real emotion doesn't need translation." Every journalist in the room froze. Everyone knew who he meant. Within minutes, that quote was trending on X with the caption, "He's talking about Demet again." In Istanbul, Demet's team tried to keep her schedule quiet, but paparazzi still caught her boarding a flight to Madrid 3 days later. When a reporter asked, "Demet, are you going to see Ken?" she laughed nervously and said, "I'm going for work. But you never know who you might run into in Spain." That clip alone gathered millions of views in less than 24 hours. When she landed, her first appearance was at El Hormiguero. She was radiant, confident, glowing, dressed in a soft cream outfit. The host joked, "Welcome back to Spain, you know, someone else from Turkey has been spending a lot of time here lately." Demet smiled, tilting her head, "Yes, I've heard Spain is full of surprises." The audience laughed, the tension in the studio was palpable. And then, just as the show was ending, the host pulled one last stunt. He held up a promotional poster of Cannes' new Spanish series, the one where he stood side by side with Amaya Salamanca, and asked playfully, "Will you be watching?" Demet froze for half a second, her eyes softening as the audience waited, then she smiled and said quietly, "Maybe I already have." The audience gasped. That line, half joke, half confession, spread like wildfire across every platform. Spanish tabloids called it "la frase que paralizó el estudio," the sentence that froze the studio. That night, Can reportedly stayed silent. He didn't post anything, didn't react publicly, but insiders claimed he watched the full show from his hotel room in Madrid alone. One anonymous crew member told Vanitatis, "He didn't say much, just smiled when she said that line, then he whispered something like, 'Of course you have.'" The next morning, filming continued as usual. But witnesses said Can arrived earlier than usual, focused, quiet, and somehow lighter, perhaps because for the first time in a long time he knew she'd been watching. It was a warm Sunday evening in Madrid when the rumor began to spread. The single tweet from a Spanish paparazzo sent the internet into a frenzy. "They're both here, same restaurant. No cameras inside." At first, no one believed it, but within minutes, multiple local tabloids confirmed the same thing. Can Yaman and Demet Özdemir were spotted at a private dinner event in Madrid hosted by one of the show's producers. The dinner was meant to celebrate the halfway point of Cannes' Spanish series, but what made the night unforgettable wasn't the production milestone, it was the guest list. Among the invitees, actors, directors, journalists, and Demet. She had arrived discreetly, in a long black coat, hair tied up, escorted by her manager. Witnesses said the atmosphere shifted the second she entered the room. Can, who had been laughing with the crew, froze mid-sentence. Their eyes met from across the table, a silent recognition, 1,000 unsaid words condensed into one glance. According to Vanitatis, the room went completely quiet for a moment. You could feel the tension, but also something else, like two people who hadn't seen each other in years but never really stopped knowing each other. They didn't hug, they didn't even shake hands at first. But later, during dessert, Can reportedly stood up, walked over to where she was sitting, and said something softly in Turkish. One witness overheard part of it. "I didn't expect to see you here, but maybe I should have." Demet smiled. "Maybe," she replied. The entire room pretended not to notice, but phones stayed hidden under napkins. Nobody dared to record. It was as if everyone understood this moment wasn't meant for the cameras. They talked quietly for nearly 20 minutes. No drama, no tears, just calm conversation. Those close enough to observe described their expressions as peaceful, bittersweet, and real. When the night ended, Demet was the first to leave. As she passed him by, she placed her hand on his arm for a brief second, long enough to make headlines the next morning. The following day, social media erupted. They talked again after 3 years. Reunion or closure? Madrid was the city fate chose. But for Can and Demet, there was no need for explanations. Later that night, Kim posted a single photo, the Madrid skyline glowing under moonlight. The caption read, "Some meetings don't need words." Hours later, Demet posted her own story, a blurry photo of a candlelit table with 2 glasses of wine. Her caption, "Peace finally." The internet lost control. Every outlet, from People en Español to Sabah magazine, covered the same story. The headlines read, "World in shock, Can Yaman and Demet Özdemir's emotional reunion in Madrid." But behind all the noise there was silence, the kind of silence that only comes when two souls finally understand each other. Madrid woke up to chaos. News channels, entertainment blogs, and fan accounts all repeated the same phrase, the reunion the world didn't expect, but everyone hoped for. Photos from the dinner had leaked overnight. They didn't show much, no kisses, no hugs, no obvious affection. Just 2 people sitting across from each other, smiling softly, their eyes saying more than any headline ever could, but it was enough. By morning, every publication from Spain to Turkey to Italy had the story on their front page, Can Yaman and Demet Özdemir, the silent reunion that broke the internet. Even those who had never followed their journey were touched by the humanity of it. 2 people once caught in the whirlwind of fame, meeting again far from cameras, far from scripts, as nothing more than Can and Demet. Spanish reporters tried to get a statement from Can the next day as he arrived on set. He didn't stop, but he did smile and simply said, "Some people stay special, no matter the distance." That one line was replayed everywhere. Meanwhile, Demet left Madrid quietly that same afternoon. She didn't post anything else, but before boarding her flight, she was seen writing something on a small notepad. something only her closest friend later revealed to Hola magazine. Sometimes endings are just beginnings disguised as peace. Madrid woke up to chaos. News channels, entertainment blogs, and fan accounts all repeated the same phrase, the reunion the world didn't expect, but everyone hoped for. Photos from the dinner had leaked overnight,